How do you do? It's Mr. Mardu. Today I'm going to do a Mardu deck tech. Yes, I'm gonna tell you how to tech your deck. And it's going to be for arguably one of the most controversial commanders in the Mardu colours, Negan the Cold-Blooded. But also arguably, one of the best Mardu commanders apart from Edgar Markov, Kalia of the Vast, Ishin Two Heavens as one, and well, so on and so on. I'm going to try and make this a long video since TikTok is now telling me it wants long videos, so stick around if you are a true legend and like my content. And also leave a like, comment, and if you really want to help me out, you could repost it. Anyway, let's get on into the video. So the first thing you're going to need is Negan the Cold-Blooded. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but you never know. Next up, and you're going to have to trust me on this one, you're going to need land. Now, it's very important that everything is foil. The reason for that isn't really known, but everything just needs to be foil. And I think once we accept that, life just becomes easier. You know, if it's not foil, then no one cares. These are all the lands that I have in the deck. I am waiting for the cool Infinity Shocklands. I mean, I haven't ordered them or anything. I'm just patiently waiting for them. Next up in the deck, you're going to need a bunch of creatures that do the same thing. That when they enter the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. And again, everything needs to be foil. It also needs to be borderless when you can. Yeah, look at that Fleshbag Marauder. These cards are pretty much just the same card, but these are the, I guess you could say, the core of the deck. This is what makes the deck work. But since there's so little of them, you're going to want to think about reanimating them, or using something like Hofri and Mothra. So when they do enter the battlefield, you will be able to sacrifice them, bring them back immediately, and sacrifice them again, doubling down basically on the effects of the sacrifice and gaining more treasures through Negan. Other reanimation stuff I have in here is Sheoldred the Whispering One from 2011. Oh, Sun Titan is from 2010. Pretty cool. Then we have an Burial Rites, just because, and a Sisters of the Undead. Remember, make sure everything is foil, and alt art, and borderless. So you're going to want to make your opponent sacrifice as much as possible, so be sure to include some instants and sorceries that help you with that too. He's a cool Liliana's Triumph. Oh, this is a creature. It should have been in the other pile, but I've never got to use this one, actually. It's always been in the 99. I've never drawn it, not once. It's just mean, and we like mean. We like mean a lot. Crackling Doom, an instant. Victimize. You have to victimize your opponents. Lucille for flavor and sacrificing, forcing your opponents to sacrifice stuff. You get Walker tokens of this one. Vonna's Hunger, a great little instant there with Ascend. And of course, a borderless foil Doom Foretold. If you do not have the borderless foil Doom Foretold, then you do not have a Negan deck. Next up, we're going to want to blink Negan in and out a lot. So here is some white blink cards. You got Cloud Shift, the Flicker of Fate, Flicker Wisp. Now, they brought out an alter art that I haven't got my hands on yet for some reason. I guess it just slipped my mind. But here's the old foil Flicker Wisp, I should say. I can't even pronounce this stuff. Just a card's Portal, an Eerie Interlude, and a really cool Ephemerate. And this should have probably happened straight after the lands, but these piles are all over the place. So, you need your mana rocks. So I've got a Sol Ring in here, an Arcane Signet, a Rakdos Signet, a Boros Signet, a Orzhov Signet, a couple of lands that should have been in the other pile, a Talisman of Conviction, and a Talisman of Hierarchy. I find this mana base does a pretty good job. I usually have all my colors by turn 2 at the latest. I don't know if that's just been dumb luck every time. I like to think that it hasn't been. Then we're going to have something like Zorn to double down on the treasures we make. And Kaya Geist Hunter, she can also help with doubling down on the treasures you make. And then, of course, Smothering Tithe to just get more treasures in general. And then Teferi's Protection, because why not? Everyone needs a bit of Teferi's Protection in their life. Next up, we're going on to drawing cards. I really wish I hadn't bought this Phyrexian Arena, and I waited for the borderless one, but here we go. That helps me draw on my upkeep. I got Queen Marquesa in here just for the Monarch. Maybe I was like short a card and I put this one in. This isn't really essential to the deck in any way, shape or form, but it's a cool thing to play. Got Read the Bones. Faithless Looting. I got this version because the Mystical Archives version was just ridiculous and I couldn't bring myself to ever buy that card. Never mind play with it. Liliana Dreadhorde General usually helps me draw quite a lot, especially when sacrificing my own creatures, bringing them back and then sacrificing them again. We've got a Esper Sentinel, the worst foil in the history of foils, but it is a foil. You can tell by the writing on the bottom, but it is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I ordered this one online, and honestly, I've been underwhelmed ever since. There's a Sign in Blood, more card draw. A Borderless Mangara, this is excellent for card draw. And a Nightfeeder's Visitation, also known as Night's Whisper. A Secret Lair card draw. So that's my card draw for the deck. Next we'll move on to my counterspells for the deck. We have two. We have Lapse of Certainty. This is a white counterspell, and we have Tybalt's Trickery. So two counterspells, because, you know, this is Mardu, there's no blue. This is what I have to do. This is what I have. This is the hand we were dealt. Well, it's not, it's the hand we picked, because we chose not to have blue. So, a couple of miscellaneous cards. I like to play with Leyline of Sanctity. I like having hexproof. I like that people can't ping me to death if, you know, it's targeted pinging. I don't think that's the way you meant to say it. And a Stranglehold, so I don't have to sit through any extra turns. Okay, now let's go to removal. I have a Path of Exile in this deck, an Utter End, a Dam, Mandatory Doomblade, an Austere Command, Toxic Deluge, and a Vindicate. Now onto the win conditions. Here is a cool win condition, Revel in Riches. Basically at the beginning of my upkeep, if I have 10 or more treasures, I win the game. You know, remember to get all of your cards in foils, not just the lands or the win conditions and the commanders. Everything needs to be foil for this deck. Treat it with the respect it deserves, and it will treat you fairly. So, Revel in Riches is one of the win conditions. So is Debt to the Deathless. I spend treasures on this, but my favorite is Torment of Hailfire. This is where the treasures go. This is the win con. I know it's a win con in a lot of decks, but I dropped it. But it works pretty well in the Negan, the Cold-Blooded deck too. And that is the deck. Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, you really are an absolute legend. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment. Let's have a chat in the comments, you know. Interacting with videos makes videos do well, I've heard. And if you're really cool, you can even repost it. And when I say repost it, I mean you click the button that says repost and then exposure and stuff happens. But yeah. I've been Mr. Mardu. Thank you for watching. Until next time.